Right before we jump into this video, if you'd like me to send you this free guide to capturing motion in low light situations, just look for this orange box over on the website, put your name, email address in it, hit send it, and I'll send you that guide for free. Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com, and this is a preview of the Canon R5C. Now you might think it looks like an R5 with a fan slapped on it, and you'd be correct because it is an R5 with a fan slapped on it, but it's also not just an R5 with a fan slapped on it. This is truly a hybrid style camera because it does photo and it does video. Now, we know a lot of cameras, like all cameras, do photo and do video, but this does it differently. And before I get to that, let me talk about some of those body features. It's about an inch deeper to accommodate the fan. You can see that you've got your air intakes and your air exhaust, which means this isn't going to be as good in a wet environment, right? It's not as environmentally sealed, but there's always a trade-off, and that's what you're getting because you wanted to add a fan. The funny thing is, if you look at the body from a certain direction, it kind of looks like a Pentax medium format digital camera. That's right, Pentax, not Pentax. Steven, I have no idea why I say Pentax and not Pentax, or whatever the hell it actually is. I digress. In terms of weight, it is a 1/4 pounder with cheese heavier than the R5. Now with the fan, there are multiple fan modes. There's auto, always on, low, and Nikon fan people. Oh, wait, no, there is no Nikon fan people mode in this camera. That's not there. But this is where it's truly that hybrid photo/video camera. There is a switch up top where the power switch is now, where you can go to photo mode and get basically an R5. You have the R5's menu, you have everything else that the R5 offers, and then when you go into video mode, this is where you truly enter into the Cinema EOS world. Because when you flick that switch, you're gonna get the Cinema menu. It's different, it's so much different, because I'm not used to seeing it because I don't shoot with Cinema cameras, but it's so much different than what you would find in just the R5 stills mode. In terms of buttons, you can see that there's two things printed there. There's the inside printing, which is for stills, and then the outside of the button is when you're in video mode. So everything is customizable, whether it's stills or in video, it's all from that switch. And that's what separates this from just being an R5 with a fan on it, because it does so much more. Now, in terms of ports, you have the same ports that you would find on the regular R5, but they've added the timecode port for this one, and there is no full-size HDMI added to this. It's still the same as the other, but it does have something that I like, that I always want to see in cameras. That is the tally light. Hi guys, do you want a tally light? Now, one of the biggest question marks about this camera is that it does not have IBIS for stills. It also doesn't have IBIS for video, which means there's no IBIS in this camera. Now, the explanation that they gave you is that the sensor is locked off in case you're using Cine lenses, and I don't fully understand why. Why couldn't you give us an option where you can lock the sensor in place when you use lenses like that, or you want it locked in, and then have a switch that says, okay, we want to have IBIS. I'm sure it probably would have added more cost and then more coding and then more stuff that could go wrong. But that is a questionable thing, because when we're running and gunning in the field, we kind of like having the IBIS in the camera and the IBIS in the lens as well. Now, to add to that, you do have digital IS, but if you go into that mode, you're going to be going into a 1.1 time crop when you do that. Someone who's more into cinema is going to have to explain this one to us, but I just think it would be cool if you could have the option for IBIS and just turn it off and lock it in place. Kind of similar to what the Nikon Z9 is doing. When you turn off the camera, it locks that IBIS in place. They have added the multifunction hot shoe, which is the same one that you find in the R3. That's great when it comes to cableless audio. Same battery, but you do need to know that you may need more power to get higher res and frame rates, especially when you're going to shoot the raw frame rates. but you can plug into an external power source. They sell a bunch of different adapters. You could also carry around one of these Anker USB-C chargers. And I believe the guy said he got 6 hours or so while using the external USB-C charger. So that is one of those options that you have. Let me jump in here real quick because I want to show you FROPAK 3 in action on this photo taken with the Canon EOS R5. We're going to start with one click with Fifth Element, and boom, followed by Eckert, which looks great. Then we're going down to November Rain. Look at how that looks. Prestige Worldwide gives us that more realistic look. And then we've got Winnebago right here. But I want to scroll up to FROPAK 1 because I want to show you with one click what Skittles does. Now, Skittles gets us pretty close. Now, if you're looking to speed up your RAW workflow or give yourself a great starting point, we created 15 all-new custom Lightroom presets that you can check out right now at froknowsphoto.com/FROPAK3. While you're over there, you can play with the sliders to see the befores and the afters. And if you'd like to pick them up right now, they are currently on sale. Or if you want to grab Skittles, which is in FROPAK 1, and you want to get FROPAK 2 and 3 together, you can save even more with the triple play bundle. Now, let's get back to the video. Even though the body design has changed slightly, you can still use the same battery grip that you can from the R5 and the R6. Moving on to the key video specs, starting with you get unlimited record time, even 8K 60p. That means with that fan running, you're gonna get unlimited record time. Now, with that being said, we've been using the R5s here at the studio for almost 2 years, and with the firmware updates, we've been able to record a lot longer than we could at the very beginning, and we're doing 4K HQ. That's actually how we're recording right now, 4K HQ. We do very little 8K here. I think we've used it maybe in 2 different videos at this point, but having the fan for longer shoots and for higher res and doing the RAW and the 8K 60, yeah, that's why you have the fan, and that's why they came out with this camera. Speaking of 8K, you get full frame 8K in 12-bit RAW up to 60p internally in Cinema RAW Lite. And just like the R5, you get full frame 4K up to 120 frames per second. There's 10-bit 422 XFAVC or MP4 recording. You also have 3 Cinema RAW modes. You've got HQ, you've got Standard, and you have Lite. There's C-Log 3 and HLG available. There's the custom picture menu like you find in other Cinema EOS cameras. There's proxy recording plus relay recording. And now we get to the price. $44.99. I think I got that right. Wasn't that my guess?
Yeah.
That was my guess. I guessed that it would be $44.99, not $5,000, not $9,000, not $10,000, $44.99, available in March, and they're saying that the chip shortage will not affect this. I guess it depends on how many people actually decide to buy it to determine whether or not they have enough to do it, but that's $600 more than the R5, and it's about $1,000 less than Canon's C70. Since I mentioned the C70, you might think that this might have been more expensive than that, but that is truly a cinema camera. It has a dual gain output sensor, it has a higher dynamic range, it has built-in ND filters, it's a slightly bigger body, but this one has a full frame sensor. But it also gives you the best of both worlds because you kind of have the R5 capabilities and all of this cinema stuff. So the question is, should R5 owners be upset that this camera came out? And the answer is no. Look, if you were a video shooter and you got an R5 to shoot video, you've had the camera for 2 years and you probably made plenty of money off of it to go buy something else if you need it. If you don't need it, then you already have a great camera in the R5. We're not gonna switch out our R5s in their entirety to the new camera. We don't have to do that. We still wanna check out, will it be better to have an R5 for running and gunning versus having this new camera? But when we do longer form videos like our user guides, it would be very nice to be able to just have unlimited record time. Though with our addition of a stroller fan, we've gotten multiple hours of record time without overheating at all. So my question to you guys is this Canon's way of going after Sony's FX3? Let me know down below what you think. I think this is an interesting camera. It's not for me personally because I like to have the photo first, But if you're a hybrid style shooter that wants to focus on the cinema mode side more and then still wants to be able to do stills, you have the best of both worlds. There's always trade-offs. This is $600 more than the other one. Let me know what you guys think down below. Thank you very much for watching. Jared, PolandFroKnowsPhoto.com. See ya.